Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. As you guys probably know, the next major update for War Thunder is just around the corner, and we actually have the dev server for that update already up and running. It's being called Hornet Sting, and the reason for that is because, of course, the main attraction, the FA-18 Hornet, is finally coming here to War Thunder. And so that said, in this video, I will be showing you each and every one of the vehicles that is currently available on the dev server, so you can see what might be coming in this next major update. And bear in mind, literally everything that you see here is subject to change. This is the dev server, so anything can change up to and even beyond the release of the live server once this update comes out. And even more vehicles may be present on the dev server in the coming days. They do add them after all. Now, that being said, let's just go ahead and start here with the F-18C Late. This is a rank 8 battle rating 14.0 jet fighter in the American Air Tech Tree. As you can see here, it is after the F-14, but not after the FA-18. So they're listing the F-14A early after the FA-18A, which is kind of interesting, but this is a very, very powerful aircraft. And, of course, we also have the FA-18C early. So it's just kind of three different Hornets coming to the American Air Tech Tree, which is very interesting. The A only has access to AIM-9Ls and AIM-7s, which is kind of crappy, as well as, for the most part, unguided weaponry, although you do have the AGM-62, which is TV-guided. And then, of course, you have the FA-18C early, which does have access to a whole bunch of weaponry, including the brand new AIM-7P, which is pretty interesting. It's kind of like an improved AIM-7M, except that it does have inertial guidance that, I guess, helps it do some mid-course changes. So pretty cool. It should be able to be a little bit more accurate, but it's not really a huge improvement over the AIM-7M from what I could tell. But really, this is just a big improvement over the previous F-18 insofar as ground attack capability is concerned, and a little bit insofar as air attack is concerned. Whereas the FA-18C is a huge improvement over all that. It has access to up to 12 missiles that you can carry at a time, including AIM-120B AMRAAMs, and of course the AIM-7Ps that we had spoken about before, and AIM-9Ms, which is pretty cool, as well as a really nice suite of anti-ground weaponry. So pretty damn good. Now, let's just go ahead and speed all this up here. So the American Ground Tech Tree does get a new SPAA insofar as the XM246 is concerned, which is pretty cool. I'll just kind of show you guys this right here. It is if I'm not mistaken, it does have a radar. It's got two big ol' 35mm cannons and has access to DM-30 or 23 and DM-13 ammunition for pretty high armor pen. Now, also, we do have a brand new, as you can see here, ammunition screen, so it's pretty cool. It does display things a little bit differently. I'll have to wait and see if this actually helps it a little bit, but who knows. But it doesn't look like it's all that huge of an improvement. Otherwise, they don't really have anything else for ground as far as I have seen. Nothing for helicopters, nor anything for blue water navy, or even coastal navy. So as I said, let's go ahead and just jump right over to Germany. And already we do have the low BR PZSPWG P204F pack, which is cool, I guess. This is basically a remounted AMD tank. It's got a 50mm cannon, so it's going to be really fast and really well armed for this BR. Then, of course, Germany also gets the Clovis, which is currently an 8.0 BR vehicle, will not have a stabilizer, but it does have a nice and fast 5-second reload speed, which is awesome. And it does not have a laser rangefinder, unfortunately, but should be a very quick vehicle with over a 20-to-1. I think it was at like about a 25-to-1 almost horsepower per ton power to weight ratio, 24-to-1. And also, if I'm not mistaken, this is a pack vehicle. France gets the same one, but they get it via Golden Eagles. Then, of course, Germany gets the EC665 Tiger HAD, which will be 11.0 BR, which is pretty damn cool. So, like I said, I'm going to speed through a lot of this, hopefully, if I can. But Germany does not get any sort of aircraft, as far as I could tell, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's just kind of what we're going to see as we go forward through new updates. We're going to see fewer vehicles being added to each tech tree, It's just going to be, unfortunately, more spread out over time especially as we add more vehicles, or more nations rather, as well as more subtech trees. So Russia does get a few ground vehicles, but it's nothing really all too crazy, but they are things that we have wanted for quite some time as a player base. So first we have the 2S-19M1, which will be a 152 millimeter equipped tank destroyer, basically an artillery tank. And then we have the 2S-19M2. Now, the big difference between these two is that the M2 weighs a touch more, but more so it does have, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit more horsepower, as well as a faster reload rate. So you have a 6-second reload, just stock, and this has a 7.5-second reload. And the 2S-19M2 is also going to be a squadron vehicle. But it does actually have a slightly higher BR upon release, 7.3 to 7.0 for the M1. Now, Russia does not get, at least insofar as the current dev server is concerned, they do not get any additional helicopters. Now, they are getting a really, really impressive vehicle, the Su-30SM. Now, this will have thrust vectoring engines. That's right, we are getting the very first thrust vectoring engines outside of Harriers, of course, because I guess technically they have to be thrust vectoring, but insofar as like an actual fighter is concerned, this is the very first. And bear in mind, I will be doing some gameplay on these vehicles, including the Su-30SM, as well as at least one or two of the F-18 variants. But this vehicle will have access to a whole bunch of weapons, including the R-77E1. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that's improved over the standard R-77, but it will also have, of course, Groms and just a whole bunch of different weapons. I mean, this thing is going to be an absolute beast. And if this looks right, you might be able to actually add R-73s on top of this R-77-1 loadout, which means that it can carry up to 14 missiles at a time. Now, Russia is not getting anything insofar as their coastal fleet's or blue water rather is concerned, but they are getting a PR-103 SM-4 class motor torpedo boat, which I'm sure so many people are going to be playing. Now, going over to Great Britain, we are getting the Harry Hopkins, which is really cool. It'll be kind of like a Locust-style tank, if you will, which I feel like a lot of people are going to enjoy the heck out of. Otherwise, they are also getting an improved SPAA lineup with the tracked Rapier launch vehicle, which will have access to Rapier missiles that have the Rapier Mark 1E and also the Mark II. So it looks like the Mark II does have a little bit faster speed, probably a little bit better guidance, and also a longer launch range. So it will just be an overall improved vehicle, or an overall improved armament once you get the E, which is going to be, thankfully, pretty early in the modification tree. Now, they will not be getting anything insofar as helicopters are concerned. Again, dev server, anything can change up to and even beyond the release of the update, and vehicles do get added all the time mid-dev server, so we still have to kind of wait for that. But Great Britain is going to be getting the HMS Warspite, which is really cool. 7.0 BR, Queen Elizabeth class battleship, 1942. Otherwise, they are getting a motor torpedo boat, 1.0 BR, the MTB-35 for the coastal. Now, unfortunately, at least from what I could see, Japan is not getting anything insofar as ground forces are concerned, and Japan is also not getting anything insofar as helicopters are concerned either. And unfortunately, insofar as what I had seen, they are also not getting anything for aircraft either, not the F-2. A lot of people were hoping for the F-2 with this update, kind of to complement and also battle against the Su-30 and F-18s. They are not getting them. Instead, they are getting the IJN Matsu, which I'm sure a lot of people were hoping for, a 3.7 BR destroyer. Cough, cough, obviously I am not very serious. And they are also getting a Type T-14 Mod 2, which will be the new reserve, at least according to this, the new reserve vehicle, which is kind of interesting. I mean, how often do they actually add reserve vehicles? That's actually pretty cool. I was not expecting a new reserve vehicle, but again, nothing really all too major insofar as vehicles are concerned. China is not going to be getting any sort of army vehicles, any ground vehicles, rather no helicopters either, but they are getting a new aircraft insofar as the J-11B is concerned that will have access to P-12s, PL-12s rather, as well as PL-8Bs. I don't know why I'm not saying L, but this will be an improved vehicle insofar as pretty much its weaponry is concerned. Now, moving to Italy. Italy is a little bit interesting here because they are getting kind of a slightly unexpected vehicle, at least insofar as I'm concerned. Two unexpected vehicles. First, they are getting the Ariat Certeza, which is pretty interesting, an 11.7 BR Ariat or Ariate vehicle, which is pretty cool in my opinion that they are getting a premium. Hopefully this will drive people to play Italy. We'll have access to the DM53, of course, laser rangefinder, night vision, as well as a pretty cool camouflage net that will, at least based on this, this might not be entirely accurate because, oftentimes the textures are not complete on the dev server, but it looks pretty good, in my opinion. Then, of course, they are not getting anything for helicopters, but they are getting a brand new Tornado IDS MLU. This is the other one that I was talking about that's just so weird that Italy is getting this. And, it's obviously completely incomplete here. It has no access to secondary weapons, so I'm not entirely sure what this thing is going to be all about. But it does look pretty good. Tornadoes are some of the better looking planes, in my opinion, in War Thunder. But insofar as its capabilities are concerned, if you guys know about that, let me know in the comments below. Also, if I miss anything in this video, let me know in the comments below. They are also getting the Ricali, which is pretty cool, I guess. We are seeing a lot of filler vehicles for Blue Water and Coastal Fleet, I've been noticing in this major update. Not something I was expecting. Now, going over to France for ground, they are getting the AMD 35 pack, which is kind of interesting because that is basically, if I'm not mistaken, the same exact vehicle that more or less that Germany's getting. So it's a kind of interesting, or a very similar vehicle Germany will be getting around that BR. Not the same exact one. They are also getting their own Martyr DF-105 as well as their own Clovis. So this will be, as far as I know, identical to the Clovis in the German. Again, should be a GE-based vehicle, and this should be more or less identical to the DF-105 available in Germany. So we are more or less doubling or kind of tripling the amount of, or quadrupling in a way, the amount of DF-105s we have in game, because the Clovis is essentially going to be like a DF-105, and then of course we are getting the DF-105, so we're getting two Clovises, which are basically DF-105s, and then new DF-105, so we're going from 1 to 4 DF-105s, which is something I'm sure a lot of people are not going to be very happy about. Now, otherwise, they are going to be getting the EC-665 Tiger HAC, which is kind of cool for helicopters, so they should get an improved helicopter base, which is, I always look at something like that. Like, you don't really see a ton of helicopters coming to War Thunder all the time, maybe like 2 or 3 per update, so it's pretty cool that they are getting a regular tech tree helicopter. And then, of course, they are also getting, it's not shown here, but they are getting the Strasbourg, which will be the event vehicle. And also they are getting, pretty cool, wait for it, VTB-12 and VTB-18 motor torpedo boats, as well as the Marne, and I believe the Akane, if I'm not mistaken, will be coming as well. So a lot for the French coastal fleet. Very interesting. I was not expecting that, but they are getting a lot. But of course, they're not really going to be showing those off in devlogs typically all too much. Then unfortunately, they are not getting, Sweden will not be getting anything for Army, for helicopters, but they are getting something for aviation, the F-18C, the last of the F-18s to come in this major update, at least that we've been told about thus far. And this is a damn shame because they are not getting any anti-ground weaponry. Yeah, that's right, they're not getting anything for ground, but at least they will still have a very nasty suite of anti-air weaponry. But of all the tech trees that needs a pretty good anti-ground vehicle, this is it, and they do not have it. Not even with the F-18C, that is supposed to be a very good anti-ground vehicle, but I guess that's just kind of how it worked out in real life. They just don't have any anti-ground weapons. Oh, and by the way, that is a Finnish, a Finnish F-18C. And now finally here for Israel, they're not getting anything for ground forces, they're not getting anything for helicopters, but they are getting a very surprising premium in the premium nets. That's right, the premium nets, the F-16A Block 10, whereas currently they have the, okay, I guess it's the it's listed as the same exact thing. It's just a premium. This is copy paste. Okay, I was not expecting. I thought that this would be like a block 15, and this would be like a block 10, or vice versa. But no, they're both being listed currently as block 10s, and more or less they are about the same exact vehicle. So that's kind of interesting. But I guess the difference here between this nets and the other one is that this one has a slightly longer tail surface. So it's kind of cool, but nothing really all too crazy. That being said, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I am interested to see your opinions. And, let me know if I missed anything. But, yeah, this should be a pretty cool update. Not a major update, but still an update that a lot of people have been waiting for because of the vehicles that it has. Again, we're getting thrust vectoring. We have a new ammo title card, or a new ammo card, if you will. We're getting the F-18s, and we are getting a whole bunch, oddly, of coastal vehicles. Filler coastal vehicles at that. But thanks so much. I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.